I became a coach because I had great mentors in my high school coach, David Bowers, my college coach, Rick Erdman, and they treated me the way you need to treat athletes. And I wanted to do that for others and hopefully make their time as an athlete as productive and fun as mine was.
I mean, I definitely think goofy is just like the first word you have to think of.
Catchphrase, you gotta go now!
Energizer Bunny. That's Mr. Lakes. Always going. I know. He was my coach and my neighbor. How did he keep running alongside us all those years, raise all those boys, and still crack all those jokes?
Coach Lakes was the best. Back then, he could outrun us, and right now, today, he probably still could outrun us. Coach Lakes was always smiling, and that ball head was always shining.
Passion and commitment to our team not only brought out the best in us athletically, but continues to inspire me to be a better person, teammate, and mentor in my daily life.
Coach Lakes is an influencer. He influenced me to be a better man, a better family man, a better educator, and a better coach.
Mentor. Stepping in the role of track and field coach after Coach Lakes was certainly a bit daunting, but he's always been a huge supporter and a huge mentor for me.
So one word to describe my father would be diligence. This guy's the hardest working person I know. Doesn't matter how good he is at the task or what his experience is, he was going to grind it out until the job's done.
As I had great athletes, I had great coaching staffs. Darlene Bridgman was like an assistant for years and years and years, and other assistants that were there.
It was important to him that we developed a love for running, and he wasn't out there beating up our bodies and getting angry at us when we had a bad race, but was also super supportive. And
so he made it fun. I want to say congratulations to one of the best coaches I've ever experienced in my career in sports. You deserve to be celebrated, Coach Lakes. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, Coach, on an honor very well deserved, and thank you for all you've done for your athletes over the years.
Coach Lakes, congratulations on your big day. I wish I could be there, but if anybody would understand, it would be you, that I will be coaching a cross-country meet in Kentucky while you are receiving this award. So it could not go to a better person. Giants fight, never die.
He truly is a giant, and we all love him, and he's just been a great figure for the city of Marion.
So to be a Marion Giant, to coach here, was certainly an honor for me. And I'm really humbled by that naming of the track, and I'm humbled by all of the athletes who I had the privilege of actually coaching and hopefully making them into better young men and women as their life goes on. I've loved what I've done. I think God put you on this earth for certain things, and certainly I wanted to be a coach since I was in 8th grade, and to be a teacher, and that's been great for me.
Thank you. That was really moving. Just amazing. I want to thank the Hall of Fame for athletics. I really want to thank Mark for all the work he's done. Just this past weekend, I started out teaching in 1982 and coaching. And my old roommate, because I couldn't afford to live by myself back then on that $11,000 salary, and he was here visiting. He's retired, and I took him through the Hall of Fame, and he was just floored, couldn't believe it. And he said, this has got to be one of the best Hall of Fames in a high school in the nation. And we're really spoiled. And Mark, your work is just phenomenal. Thank you. So, congratulations to all the other inductees. Doug Porter, one of my students in 10th grade. I knew he was going to be a coach and a teacher all the way back then. He could have taught the classes then, probably better than I could. Now he's a colleague. Lemmy Sanders, although he's going in for football, was a thrower on our team. And I tell you, Lemmy, you gave your best effort every day, and Coach Krabby would have been so proud of you. Our 4x8 team that's going in today, that team, I'll talk about them a little bit more later, but that was a huge surprise. Those guys worked hard and deserved everything. Amy Wisser, former babysitter to my kids, okay, and she lived to talk about it. They're here if you want to spank them, so that's up to you. That didn't come out right. So. Special thanks to Marion Community Schools, Marion High School, the community of Marion, the administration, all the ADs I had, Steve Moritz, who's here for the second time, and Jim Fricke. Jim Fricke took a chance on me a long time ago, and we were talking about this earlier when Dick Persinger told me our AD was from Earlham. I grew up in Richmond. I was waiting to go down and see a guy with long hair, TiVo sandals, and meditating on his desk. Instead, I get Sergeant Carter from Gomer Pyle. But Jim was an excellent AD, and I appreciate it. Jim wouldn't have taken a chance on me. I wouldn't be standing here today. All the athletes and their families, everything that you did, the effort you gave, the commitment you made. You're only as good as your athletes. And when I look at all those guys that were up there and girls, and Josh Colvin, it's hard to believe he's still our school record holder. Now he looks like, I don't know, he needs to be somewhere in jail. I'm not sure. He's not here, so don't worry about it. So, Josh Foss and those guys, all of those guys committed to our program, and if they don't commit to our program, we don't have the success that we have. And as I said there, I was influenced by great coaches. Dave Bowers, Rick Erdman. They taught me how to run a program, and when I saw the way they ran the program, I wanted to run mine that way also. Also, a lot of the coaches that influenced me were opponents. Guys like Rick Stucker, who was at Kokomo for 51 years, knew him in high school. Mike Holman, who's now coaching at Marion University. Chuck Keppen, who I always liked Chuck. Everybody else hated him because he always won. But Chuck, I knew him in high school, and especially Bob Potter. Those guys were never afraid to give me advice if I asked for it. And they really helped me become a better coach, not get all my sprinters hurt. And so I really appreciate all of those guys. The assistant coaches I had over the years, Eric Koneema, Warren Krabby, Tony Marillion, Nate Larson was an assistant for a couple of years for me. All those guys really, really make the program go. But most of all is Darlene Bridgman, who I call my work wife. For 32 years, Darlene and I coached together. And I couldn't have asked for a better assistant. She was level-headed. She was a teacher first. She was a confidant for me. I had some really crazy ideas, and Darlene would just go, I don't think it's going to work. I would do it anyway, and then we'd come out of that room. She would look at me, and I'm like, just kick me next time. That is certainly something that I appreciate, Darlene, your friendship and relationship we had. To my family, my children, Matthew, Elliot, and Taylor, I got to coach all of them. Matthew got me twice a year, Elliot got me once a year, Taylor got me one season and said, I'm not doing that anymore. So I played golf. You miss a lot of your kids' things when you're a coach, and I did that also with some of my kids' things. And my wife Vicki, behind every coach is a great spouse, and that's important, because I would have had no success without her. That's unconditional love. No matter how bad I did or how well I did, she never complained. A couple times when I was coaching her on boys, there were some complaints, but that's a mother, so I really appreciate her. And as I said, I've had so many special moments over 35 years of coaching. Championships were nice, they were memorable. But the relationships that I made with the athletes and their parents, watching them grow, seeing them here today, seeing them become productive in their communities and their work, but most of all being productive with their children and their spouses, that is the most rewarding. I want to close with a John Wooden quote, good old Hoosier, and it says, "Success comes from knowing that you did your best to become the best that you were capable of becoming." And hopefully, through my 35 years, I was able to do that. Thank you.